The college basketball experience SWAC conference preview for 2023-24 on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/SGPN and use that promo code SGPN for a first deposit match up to $100. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today, people. We're also brought to you by the MMA Gambling Podcast. They just launched their YouTube channel. Subscribe, all right? And to celebrate, we're giving away a MMA Gambling Podcast hoodie. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/MMA hoodie for all the details. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
What's up, everybody? This is Cameron Crowe from Loyola Chicago Ramblers, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride. Shout out to the Broad Stop. Thank you, guys.
SWAC conference preview for 2023-24. I'm excited. I can remember Grambling beating the Colorado Buffaloes. Was it Grambling that also knocked off Vanderbilt?
Yes.
Who also almost knocked off TCU? Someone was close to knocking off TCU beginning of the year. Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Pine Bluff. And I remember Snacks.
These guys actually took down 2 or 3 Pac-12 teams last year as well.
That's right. And I remember Snacks from Jackson State. Dog. All right. Do a YouTube search on that one. Folks, we are the college basketball experience. We break down all 31 conferences before the season starts and when the season starts, which is November 6th. That's a Monday. That means starting November 5th, Sunday night, we will be here every single night of the season like we've been each and every year. Talking college hoops. Subscribe to the college basketball experience. You're probably wondering who the hell you're listening to, and that is fair. My name is Colby Dant, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Yes, shout out to the chat. You can subscribe, folks, youtube.com/the college experience. Shout out to Cameron Hunt. You got to love the SWAC. 100%. We love the SWAC just like we love the SEC or the ACC or whatever. All right, we do not discriminate on conferences. We love college basketball. It doesn't matter if it's the NEC, the SWAC, whatever. We love it all. All right. And I mean, if you're a SWAC fan, you need to check out the FCS College Football Experience, which I host. I also host the College Football Experience, but we got a deep appreciation for the SWAC over there as well. So let's jump into this. But before we do, I am joined by my co-host, or one of my co-hosts. He's the producer behind the scenes on the College Experience. But we said, hey man, we both love SWAC basketball, so let's do something. Let's jam out an episode together. All right. This guy, he's the host of the College Baseball Experience. He's also like I said, the producer behind the college. There you go. He's got the shirt and everything. Go check out the store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Give it up for the host of the College Baseball Experience and just a college football junkie behind this, or college football and college basketball junkie behind the scenes. Give it up for Noah Bieniek. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, Colby? And yeah, just I hate to be that guy, but a couple of corrections for you. First off, Cameron Hurt in the chat. Love you, man. Thanks for jumping in, Cameron Hunt.
Oh, my bad. Oh.
Thanks for jumping in. SWAC preview. He's here at 1:20 a.m. Gotta love it. He's active in the chat, I think, for one of the first times. Welcome. We are glad to have you. Iveta and Ryan Hasty, who are also active in the chat every day. Get to know them. I mean, if you guys are sweating out SWAC or just talking SWAC at 1:20 in the morning Eastern, y'all will be good friends. Second thing, 32 conferences, Colby. You said 31.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
It is late.
Do you know what? No. I keep saying 31 ever since COVID when the Ivy League didn't have a season. So my apologies. Anyway, shout out. And look, I love the SWAC. I love the SWAC conference. And it makes me think of this.
Get my limousine, ride on 85, get my Learjet, woo, and take off to New Orleans.
Yes. All right. I can't wait for the fucking season. And let's jump into it. But before we do that, I want to tell you folks out there that the College Basketball Experience SWAC season preview is brought to you by Prize Picks. With the basketball season here, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball. I can vividly remember a time that I was in Las Vegas like 20 years ago saying, why can't I bet football and basketball props together? All right. Well, shout out to Prize Picks. They figured it out. All right. So check it out. They have the Specials League, which you can find both in, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. For example, LeBron James plus Travis Kelce at a 10.5 combo rate of 3-pointers made in a game plus receptions. That's a hell of a good deal. All right. So check out Prize Picks. And also you want to play along some of Prize Picks' favorite players like rapper Meek Mill or comedian Andrew Schultz. You can now find the community plays under the promos tab of the app essentially, and view entries, and you'll see some of the bigger names in the Prize Picks community each and every week making picks. Also, Prize Picks offers a reboot policy, which is fantastic because if you play DFS like we do, for example, tonight I played a player that was injured, didn't end up playing, and I was busy. I didn't catch it in time. So I took a big fat 0 and just basically pissed away money. That happens all the time, right? Especially when you get to college. Happened the other day in the NFL with Bijan Robinson. So, folks, this is what's great about Prize Picks. For football and basketball games, if you have a player who exits the game or just doesn't play, but exits in the first half and does not return in the second, the player is rebooted. All right. So you get that reboot, and Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy that I've ever heard of. So what are you doing, folks? Get on over there. Go to prizepicks.com/SGPN. Use that promo code SGPN for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/SGPN. Promo code SGPN. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. We're also brought to you by the MMA Gambling Podcast. Yes, they just launched their YouTube channel, the MMA Gambling Podcast. Subscribe. And in honor of that, we're giving away an MMA Gambling Podcast hoodie to one lucky winner. Look, I really believe we've all been hammered at a bar and maybe you didn't like somebody. And you say, hey, I'm gonna fucking punch this dude right in the face. Well, I can tell you, it doesn't matter how much alcohol you give me. If they're wearing an MMA Gambling Podcast hoodie, I'm gonna think long and hard about, maybe I shouldn't punch this guy in the face, right? And my point is wearing an MMA Gambling Podcast hoodie leads you less likely to get sucker punched, which is a genius move because you're out on the town, you're trying to have a good time. Last thing you want is some fucking drunken idiot punching you in the face. All right. So, and I mean, come on, these MMA, Muay Thai, fucking UFC guys, they could look like Jeff Van Gundy and they choke you out in like fucking 10 seconds. All right. Like, come on. It's the ultimate equalizer. Everyone's a wild card. You wear an MMA Gambling Podcast shirt or any really MMA content or whatever, I think people just think, they go, well, you know what? He can call me a pussy. I'm going to sit here and enjoy my vodka tonic. All right. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/MMA hoodie to submit your entry today, and make sure to subscribe to the MMA Gambling Podcast on YouTube. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride. All right. We are back on the college basketball experience. SWAC season preview.
Before we jump in, Colby, Cameron Hurt responded. He's like, I've been in the chat before, just on my other account. Shout out to SGPN. Nobody else out here previewing the SWAC. So I have one conclusion. He's Chinese spy balloon or one of those guys, right?
Could be Chinese spy balloon. That's okay. We welcome all. Well, we welcome it all. Even when I got kicked out by the Russians last year, we don't discriminate. All right, just we'd prefer our show be available for those fine people of Russia, but at the same time, it's okay. The show must go on. Let's jump into it. And yeah, love the Delta Devils, one of my favorite names. And they're SWAC announcers, as you can imagine, just there's if you've never been in general to I've always wanted to go to the Celebration Bowl. Haven't been to the Celebration Bowl, but I can tell you this: I've checked out a few campuses, and what I think Cameron's alluding to is the announcers. Some of those announcers, fantastic, way better.
Valley State's got
way better. Yes, way better than pretty much anybody. You know what I mean? Like they're up there with the best. If they had a way, remember a couple years ago, I was able to call games. There was this app. They're gone now. They got bought out.
Yeah.
But they paid us to call games. It was fantastic. The Mississippi Valley State guys, and I'm sorry I don't know their names, but they should be calling every fucking game. Let's go. All right, let's jump into this with Team 1, the Bulldogs of Alabama A&M. Yes, they were 10-8 in the SWAC a year ago. 15-18 overall for Otis Hughley. That was year 1 too. Not a terrible first year to go to. You got to remember, folks, some of these SWAC teams will play like a month on the road. They'll do more fucking travel than the Rolling Stones in 1971. You know what I mean? Like they are out there doing it. So to me, like I pay attention to the conference record here, 10-8. Because I guarantee you gave some of those Power Fives a month on the road, they'd be struggling a little bit too. So 10-8 in the SWAC, Huntsville, good old Huntsville, Alabama there. Now the problem is they lose Messiah Thompson, just about 11 points a game. Also Garrett Hicks at 13 points a game. Also Elisa Balaze Akanobi. I don't know. He's gone. Kenobi? Yeah, I was about to say it's definitely a fucking Star Wars character. But they returned some solid minutes here. They got Dalen Smith back at the forward spot. He's a 6'6" senior, 25 minutes a game a season ago, about 11 points per game. He's back. Cameron Tucker at the point is back. He's a 5th year guy. They also their big man, EJ Williams, 6'11" guy. So they have some veterans here. Also the 2 guard Amari Peak Green. All in all, they're projected starting like 6-man rotation, all upperclassmen, and if anything, 5 of the 6 are either seniors or grad seniors. So I mean, as far as experience goes, they got some guys. They did hit the portal and brought in Dylan McClain from Bishop State, also Clarence Crosby from Fort Scott, as well as Anthony Bryant from Marion Military. Last season was a very good first year, and believe it or not, it was the best season they've had in 18 years in year 1. So I am buying into Otis Hughley to come in and finish 5th in the SWAC. Let's go. The amount of returning production, I think they're going to be a player in this conference. Noah, your thoughts on the Bulldogs?
Yeah, so I think they return some important production. I mean, actually, they returned the 3rd least amount of minutes in the SWAC, but you can argue that, I mean, some of the minutes probably came from the bench that they lose, but they do lose their all-conference defensive player of the year in Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ako Nobi there. But they've got some returning guys, and Cameron Tucker being a grad senior at the point guard position is one that you have to love there. They're returning leading scorer from last season, Dalen Smith, playing the 4, should be all right. He's actually able to stretch the floor as well. Shot 35.5% from 3 last year. Alabama A&M was actually pretty good at defense as well. They ranked 4th in the first year of this system for the Bulldogs. So I expect more of the same for A&M, maybe even a step up from 5th in the SWAC this season. I think they're a top half team in the SWAC.
Let's go. All right, let's talk about their rivals. If you watch college football, the Magic City Classic. It's normally Alabama State and Alabama A&M every year in Mobile. Let's talk about those Hornets of Alabama State. They were not as good a year ago. 8-23, 6-12 in conference, tied for 9th in the SWAC. Tony Madlock, he's much more entertaining than the fucking Madlock TV show. Just to date myself, but this is an interesting bunch because they brought in Dante Bass, all right, from Georgetown. My Hoyas, that's a nice get. They lose Alex Anderson and Jordan O'Neal. However, I mean, returning minutes, they do have a solid couple guys back. TJ Matlock, I can only imagine their son of Tony Matlock, Omar Knox. Together, those guys combined for about 51 minutes a game a season ago. You also have the 3 guard Isaiah Range, who's a stud, led the team in scoring there, or returning top scorer at. He played almost the entire game. 40-minute games. He played about 35.5 minutes each and every night, folks. 14 points a game. They also have the big man Eric Coleman. Yeah. 6'8" senior, played about 19 minutes a game a season ago. They're going to ask for him to step up, be a big contributor on this year's team. They also went out and got CJ Hines, a transfer from Faulkner, an NAIA school.
They're good in baseball. I played them.
There we go. And Kendall Parker back as a freshman. He played about 12 minutes a game. I'm sure he'll get more into the mix. All in all, I mean, they lost a couple guys a year ago, but I feel like this team, I actually think they'll be similar to what they were a year ago, maybe even a little bit better. What do you make of the Hornets?
Yeah, so I think their offense runs through Antonio Madlock, son of Tony Madlock. He played 33 minutes this season ago, 11 points per game, but he was kind of inefficient shooting the ball. So this team, both offensively and defensively, bottom half in the SWAC last season. Out of the 12 teams, they do return the 4th most minutes from a season ago, and they're not as young anymore. I mean, Madlock's a junior this year. They had 2 freshmen now are sophomores in this projected starting 5. And Eric Coleman's the senior center for them. He played 19 minutes a season ago. His role expands. We'll see how he does. I think this is a bottom half team in the SWAC, but with another year under some of these young kids' belts, they might be a team that improves a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I think so far ranking the teams, Alabama A&M would come before Alabama State. But let's jump on over and talk about the Braves of Alcorn State.
I'm down to do that if you want to. I think there was one conference that Mac and I did it where it was like after every team we just reran the order. If you wanted to do that for the SWAC here.
Yeah, we could do that.
All right. So Bama State, Bama A&M.
No, A&M
or
won.
Bama A&M, Bama
State. Yeah. A&M 1, Bama State 2.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Alcorn State though. The Braves. First off, they were good last year, man. 15-3 in conference.
They were good ATS too, from what I remember.
Landon Bussey getting it done in year 4 there, or in year 3, I should say, as he enters year 4, 18-14. They made the NIT a year ago. Shout out to them. They lose though 3 veterans: Keandre Montgomery gone, Devin Carter gone, Dominic Bruton. All of them averaged double digits a year ago. Losing that's going to take some hits. However, though, you do return a few solid guys. I mean, Byron Joshua is back at the point spot, 5'10" guy, but look, the guy can play 32.5 minutes a game, 11 points per game, 4.2 assists. He's a dog on the defensive side of the ball too, almost 2 steals a game. He's back. You also got Jeremiah Kendall. Now they play small ball. I mean, he's 6'6". He's their elite big there. 22 minutes a game, 11 points per game a year ago, 7 boards, just about. Also, they got DeKedron Thorne, another senior who played 27 minutes a game a season ago. Those 3 big pieces that are back. Now the rest, the bench has got about 3 guys that have played minutes, but they still aren't very experienced. They went out in the portal though, and they brought in a couple guys from Prairie View. Jeremiah Gambrell. That's a nice get there. 25 minutes a game, 10 points a game, just about. That's a very nice get there. They also brought in Rod Jones from Polk State Community College. Look, if you got tape on Polk State Community College, you're just incredible. But also Trey Stoutermeyer coming in from Lawson State. Dude, they deep dive. Here. And Stephen Beard from Cochise. Is that Cochise Community College? Like the character in the Beastie Boys video. All in all, I mean, I worry about depth. I really do. I still think this is going to be a team up at the top of the half of the conference, though. So if we're doing the pecking order here, I'm going to still put Alcorn 1, Alabama A&M 2, and Alabama State 3. What are you doing? What do you make of the Braves, Noah?
Yeah, I agree with you. I like the duo in the backcourt and front court, both of them seniors, 4 seniors and a junior coming in from the JUCO ranks. But Gambrell, in-conference transfer from Prairie View, played 25 minutes a season ago in the SWAC, 9.5 points per game. Shooting is going to be a little bit of a worry here for me. And yeah, you already mentioned it with the depth. But, I mean, Bussy, his offense last year, number 1 in the SWAC, according to KenPom. And they were effective shooting the ball, almost 49.5, almost 50% from the field. Number 1 offensive rebounding team, number 1 team taking care of the balls with the least amount of turnovers last season, and also number 1 in free throw percentage. I mean, that's a winning formula for you right there. Defensively, though, they were a little bit worse on that end of the floor, actually 10th in opponent field goal percentage. So hopefully with losing some of their top scorers from a season ago, they lose 3 of their top 4 or 3 of their top 5, depending on how you calculate that. Hopefully they're able to step up their game a little bit on the defensive end to make up for that. But yes, I have this team over Alabama A&M as well. I have that. I have it Alcorn State, Bama A&M, Bama State.
There we go. Let's talk about Pine Bluff. Put out an APB on the Golden Lions. All right.
A peanut butter?
Yes. I am very intrigued about this team. No, not on Alcorn State. Arkansas Pine Bluff.
I know.
Okay.
I took off a comment and then I didn't realize it was going to revert back to the original. We're talking about on YouTube for those that are listening.
Yeah, youtube.com/the college experience, folks. Watch it every night of the season. We'll be live. Now, the thing that's super intriguing here, you know, I know you looked and say 10-21 last year, 6-12, 9th in the in the SWAC, and then you know, they had a terrible end of the season. However, man, I think they can play, man. I'm kind of optimistic about them being legit contenders this year because they get Rashad Williams from the Billikens of St. Louis. I know he just played 8 minutes a game, but still, I like St. Louis as a talented team. Then they get Lionel Martin transferring in from Montana. Now, if you watched Montana ball, this guy played about 29 minutes a game there in the Big Sky. They return Kylan Milton, who averaged 13 points a game, played 31 minutes a game. Getting those 3, you also add in Joe French from Bethune-Cookman, where he averaged just about 10 points a game there in Daytona Beach. And then Ismail Platt, the big man, you know, 20 minutes a game a season ago, he's going to be asked to step up. But you look at the bench, Trayon Ware, Robert Lewis, Zach Reinhart, they have guys that have played a lot of minutes. And to me, I think they're going to be in contention for the SWAC championship this year. Now, ranking them is tough because you're like, man, they finished 9th in the SWAC. How can I be that optimistic? But I just think the returning minutes. I actually have this team right now. If we're going pecking order, Alcorn would be 1, Pine Bluff 2, Alabama A&M 3, Alabama State 4. Noah, your thoughts on the Golden Lions?
So for me, I think I might like this one more than Alcorn State.
Yeah.
Based on I don't know if Rashad Williams is waiting on a waiver. That's a big question mark for me. I tried to figure that out, but it's the SWAC. There's not a ton of information on there. I looked up his name and waiver. Usually does the trick in the old Google machine, but his name didn't pop up. But talented kid coming in from St. Louis. And if you are able to insert him in with a lineup of 2 seniors and 2 fifth-year seniors that all played at least 20 minutes a season ago, and Lionel Martin comes in from a good program in Montana, Joe French comes in from Bethune-Cookman, in SWAC transfer there that played 26.5 minutes ago, a season ago, almost had 10 points a game. I think this is a nice core of a team that just needs a point guard. So that's a little bit of an issue if they don't get Rashad Williams to be able to be cleared. So for that though, I'll put Alcorn State at 1, just because I don't really have a question about about them, and they did it last year. But then I like APB, Bama A&M, Bama State.
Let's go. Let's talk about Bethune-Cookman, the Wildcats. I got a little song for them.
W-I-L-D Cats. W-I-L-D Wildcats.
Reggie Theus, the former UNLV running Rebel back in the day, played on. I mean, he could light it up back in the NBA, man. Even late in his career, I feel like Reggie Theus was good for like 20 a game on the Hawks, the Kings. Shit, he played on a lot of teams, but he was good. And he was a good college basketball. He's been a proven winner in college basketball, whether it's New Mexico State, Cal State, Northridge. He's had some good teams. This might be his best team, I think, in Daytona there, if I had to bet. And a lot of that is Zion Harmon, the former top 100 recruit. As a freshman, this guy played 29 minutes a game, just about 14 points a game. And that is, I think, why you should be optimistic if you're a Bethune-Cookman fan. Yes, they lose Joe French, as we just alluded to APB. They lose KJ Davis and Marcus Garrett. All those guys average double digits. Even Dylan Robertson was a solid contributor on that team. All those guys are gone. However, you could make an argument this team is more athletic. They're better. They're more of his guys, because this is year 3 for Reggie Theus. So you bring back Zion Harmon, who was freshman of the year in the SWAC. He's only going to get better. Deshaun Dyson is a guy back at the 2-guard spot, 22 minutes a game, 11.5 points a game a season ago. That backcourt's going to be elite. Then you add in Damania McIntyre, who played about 21 minutes a game a season ago. Also, Derek Carter Hollinger, 21 minutes a game a season ago. They're counting on James Henderson, the big man, to step up. He was a freshman a year ago, got about 17 minutes a game. He's going to be playing a lot more. The bench, concerned. The depth, very concerned. All right, because they only got one guy on the bench that's actually contributed solid minutes in college basketball, and that's Elijah Holwesi. So, I mean, I'm of the opinion that they will be better, but I am very concerned about the depth. If they get any injuries, you could really eat shit on your projection this year. But I'll say right now, if I had to rank them, I would go 1 Alcorn, 2 APB, 3 Alabama A&M, 4 Bethune-Cookman, 5 Alabama State. Noah, your thoughts on the Wildcats?
There's a lot of positives to draw from Bethune-Cookman, even though they lose a lot of offensive production from a season ago. They return. Everybody that was still on the depth chart from this team returns. They really only lost a couple of starters from last season. And even with that, it might be addition by subtraction. Last year, this team ranked 12th in defense in the conference via KenPom, and 11th in opponent shooting percentage, 11th in rebounding on the defensive end of the floor. Just kind of all around, the defense struggled. But offensively, they were good. They took care of the ball. They're a top half offense. I believe that Theus is probably able to he's probably an offensive coach. And that should stay the same. And then if you get some guys that, were hungry for more minutes last season, most of these guys played 20 minutes a game, but now their roles are expanding offensively. Maybe you get a little bit of that buy-in or a little bit more of that buy-in, and this team could be better. I agree exactly with how you assessed the standings so far. I hope that this team improves this season because I think I can actually build a case for them finishing better than 7th in the SWAC. We'll see how it goes throughout the show here.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I'm fascinated by watching them this year, especially that backcourt. Let's move along and talk about Florida A&M. FAMU. Well, last year wasn't great for Robert McCullum in year 6, 7-22, 5-13 in the SWAC, and they lose Jordan Tillman, they lose Jalen Bates, they lose Byron Smith. Altogether, that is about 29 points of production from a year ago. Now they did hit the portal and brought in Love Bettis from North Carolina A&T. Shout out to our guy Terrell Furman Jr., the host of the NBA Gambling Podcast. He's an A&T grad, so I have to get his take on Love Bettis coming in. Dominguez Stevens though is the 2 guard they'll be counting on. Played about 13 minutes a game. They're projecting to start 5 seniors. Now, some of them are transfers. Shannon Grant coming in from Mercer with the Bears, played about 13 and a half minutes there in the SoCon. Jordan Chapman is a guy that I think they think could be really good this year. 6'5" senior, played about 18 minutes a game a season ago. Also Hans Luis Juni. I don't know how to pronounce this name. I'm just trying to sound educated. Next, but the fucking starting 5 is all vets. You have Chase Bars on the bench, who played about 18 minutes a game. Also Alvin Tumblin. But man, everyone else besides that is youngsters or inexperienced players. Kind of think if I had to rank these right now, I'll say I think they'll be 1 game ahead of Alabama State. But I do think they are in the cellar of the SWAC. So talk to me about what your projection is of the Rattlers.
The theme of this team is if they're experienced, they're unproven, or if they're young, they haven't played. Love Bettis could be the X factor of this team coming in from NCAAT, heading the point for them. And then Dominguez Stevens probably is their go-to option on the offensive side of the floor. Shot 42.5% from 3 last year, 43% from the floor. He was efficient in limited opportunities. This team's a big question mark for me. Bottom half, probably I either have them below Bama State or just above.
Well, let's talk about the Grambling Tigers. And this was a team that I thought was fucking fun to watch last year, man. Grambling was very fun. 24-9, 15-3, tied for first place in the SWAC. What a great season for Dante Jackson there in Grambling, Louisiana. The bad news though, Shondarius Cowart gone, Cam Kristen gone, Gordon, another vet, Vershawn Cotton, another guy that could play, all are gone. And I mean, all in all, I mean, those guys really, you're talking about a solid like 44, 45 points of production out the door. How fast can they rebuild? I know the culture's been great there, but you got to wonder the returning production from what I see. And they have a 6-man rotation that I think really, talk about experience. They have guys that have been in college a long time. All of them projected to be seniors or grad seniors. So you look at the guard spot, Terrence Lewis, 17 minutes a game a year ago, 9 points per game. He can light it up. All right. I think this is a guy who shot almost 42% from 3. That's a guy that they're going to be banking on. Also, Zahad Munford back at the guard spot, grad senior, 15 minutes a game a season ago, and Tremichael Morton. That's the guard spot. Morton played 25 minutes a game a season ago on that team. Jordan Smith, another vet that's played 26 minutes a game, 9 points, 5 boards a season ago. That is someone I think they can really build this team around. Also, Jonathan Aku, another senior. I mean, he only played 15 minutes a game last year, but in general, you got to love the depth here. They bring in Jalen Johnson from Milwaukee, the Panthers, a 6'8" grad senior there, played 13.5 minutes a game. They also went out and got Elvis Nanji from George Mason, the Patriots, in the A10, and then Jamel Kofer from Stephen F. Austin with the Lumberjacks. We know they keep a great program. They also bring back Quentin Morrell, I should say, like Adrian. But all in all, you got to think it's going to be a step back for Grambling, despite them being good. I think it's a step back. I think they'll contend, but I don't think they will have the same success from a season ago. So I would probably put them in the mix between after Arkansas Pine Bluff. Actually, I'll even say after Alabama A&M. I think they're one spot behind A&M. Give or take. I think that we're going to be right in that mix. What do you think about the Tigers, Noah?
I think I like Grambling a little bit better than Bama A&M. And it's basically because Dante Jackson has either been in the middle of the pack or competing for a SWAC title. And recently, like last year, they had the number one defense in the SWAC, the second best offense. You go back 5 years, their defense never dropped before fourth in this conference, and the offense fluctuated up and down. 2019, they had a really good year. They had a good offense. 2023, they had a really good year. They had a good offense. This year, they have a trio of grad seniors in the backcourt. That's a strength, even if they haven't played much together. There's a lot of production that was lost from last year, but a solid foundation here that still, I mean, they're returning from a season ago that at least played 15 minutes, all of them. And it's an entire starting five of seniors. So that's something that I like. Jordan Smith in the front court is going to be interesting. He's a stretch four, can shoot it well. I'm a little bit higher on Grambling, I guess. I got them above Bama A&M.
I had them right there. I think it's very close, back and forth. Probably come down to the final week of the season. But my next team that I'm super excited to talk about is Jackson State. You know, Mo Williams, the former fucking NBA player that was really good. You know what I mean? Played obviously the Cavs. He played for the Clippers. I caught him for the Clippers a couple of times. Played for a lot of teams. I think the Utah Jazz, if memory serves me correct, as well. But I mean, Mo Williams, very good player in the NBA. Obviously, a bit of a legend. And it's almost like the Deion Sanders thing, except he's from Jackson, Mississippi. Mo Williams, born and raised, I believe, in Jackson, Mississippi. So I am fascinated by watching this team this year. They return a ton of production. All right, they lose Tracy Young and Jamarcus Jones, but this is a team that won 10 of their last 11 games last year. And they to return that much production, Colty Young, Ken Evans, those guys, I think getting them back, both played over 30 minutes a game a year ago. Romel Mansell back, Chase Adams, Zeke Cook. I mean, you really got to like the depth as far as bench production goes. Way better than almost everyone we've previewed so far. Then you add in Jordan O'Neal from Alabama State. Guy who played 27.5 minutes there, and then Deshaun Ruffin from Ole Miss. Oh man. I'll be honest. I think they should be the preseason favorites to win the SWAC because Jackson State, the depth that they have, unlike any team we've previewed, and then you add in some of that athleticism that they have, I think they're going to be top notch. Mo Williams, yes, we haven't seen him, be super elite as a coach, but I mean, his talent speaks for itself. I think they're going to be right there in the mix. I have them projected to be, the team to beat there in the SWAC. What do you make of the Tigers?
Right there with you. I mean, in his first season, he came in third in this league. I don't expect them finishing any lower than that this year. I think Deshaun Ruffin out of the transfer portal was an amazing get. Last year, he spent the season with Ole Miss, played just under 20 minutes a game, and he was very good just creating plays. He had 3 assists a game last year, and he was all right shooting the ball. I don't think this team needs him to shoot the ball. Colty Young and Ken Evans can shoot that 3-ball for him. They both played 30 minutes a season ago, over 10 points a game. You mentioned it. And they're all active on the glass, too. I really like this Tigers team.
All right, let's jump over and talk about, actually, before we do that, I want to tell you that the college basketball experience SWAC season preview is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. All right, so stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right, we're back on the college basketball experience SWAC season preview. And next we're going to jump over to a team that, we talked about them. Best announcers in the game.
Yeah, what? I went and found their booth. So Wanda Young does the public broadcasting, so she was on the sidelines. Eric Cole was the announcer, and then he was also partnered with Darwin Cannon. So there's your staff of announcers last year.
They deserve a fucking Pulitzer Prize or some shit. I don't know, but
Lee Hall also it says Lee Hall did some play-by-play basketball, but he was also on football and he did a bunch of other stuff. So it could be Lee Hall as well. But yeah, can't wait to get a load of this booth again once again this year. Yeah,
and look, they were kind of ass last year, 5-27, 4-14 in the SWAC, but the announcing was great. But that's Georgia Ivory's first season. We got to be patient. Rome wasn't built overnight, but they lose Terry Collins and Tyron Mosley, both combined for about 27 points a game. That's gonna hurt. That's a tough hit there. They went out. They tried to bring in some guys in the portal. Jalen Sanders from Northwest Mississippi, Cameron Mahan from Long Beach, right out by me, and Donovan Sanders from Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. That's not Long Beach State, by the way. That's Long Beach Community College. They return. They have a couple guys. I mean, getting Raekwon Brown back. Yeah,
they returned the second most minutes from a season ago. I forgot to mention it for Jackson State. They returned the most. They actually returned 83.5%. Big drop off to the second most, which is Mississippi Valley State. 59% of their minutes returned from last season. However, they're the most experienced team entering the season this year, according to
they're going to be better.
Should be, for sure.
No, I think they will be better, but I still don't think this is a top half team. Mm-mm. I look at a super experienced team, Walter Hamilton to Danny Washington and Ernest Minton, all, guards that are seniors that have played major minutes. Areco Gibson as well. Alvin Stredick at the another guy on the front court that played 27 minutes a game a season ago. Look, they'll be better. I actually think they'll probably be like solid middle of the pack. I just don't think they'll be at the top tier or the Delta Devils. Noah, your thoughts?
Yeah, last year they lacked a little bit of an identity. They're bottom half in offense, one of the worst defenses in the league. This year they lose two of their top three scorers. Raekwon Brown is going to be needed to be relied on, their top scorer from this season standpoint. Last year, he averaged 12.5 points a game. He was efficient, shooting 43.5%. Not as well shooting the outside shot. The positive of this team is that they've got some length for a SWAC team. They go point guards 5'11" and Danny Washington, but then you got 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", 6'8" on the bench, 6'9". They've got some size that should help them at least defensively to get them out of the cellar in that category. But yeah, I still think this is a bottom half team. Second year for George Ivory. Hopefully you can see some momentum this season, get out of the total cellar in 12th place in the SWAC. But I think they're down there in the bottom half. I would put them, it's between them and Florida A&M. Do you have them better than Florida A&M this year?
I do. I definitely do. Yeah.
I have them above FAMU.
Next up, let's talk about a team that was a darling of mine last year, Prairie View. The Panthers down there in Prairie View, Texas. Bubba McDowell's their football coach. I got a chance to interview him not long ago, but man, Prairie View, Texas. Most teams when they come into Prairie View, Texas last year, first off, they were a covering machine for me, but most teams when they came in there, they were saying this.
I'm dying in this fucking country ass fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. The fuck, I can't see pollen. And let's get the fuck out this country, mother.
No, I mean, honestly, I don't know how many times I locked them up last year. They were a fucking darling of mine. 13-19 overall, 9-9 in the SWAC. Finished 6th in the SWAC, but Byron Smith doing a good job.
Loses a lot though.
Yeah, the problem is this is fresh. This is a fresh roster. William Douglas gone.
Only returns 8% of the minutes from last season.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And the SWAC.
Jeremiah Gambrell hit the portal. Takorian Smith gone. I mean, they lose everybody. Hygel Augustin gone. Everyone you can think of, really. They bring back Brian Miles, a guy who played 11 minutes for them. McKinley Harris also.
No. Wait, sorry. You mentioned Miles. I thought you said Giles, who comes in from the divider, not Miles.
No, yeah, they went out and got Ronell Giles from St. Francis, New York, the divider, and they just decided to be ultimate pussies and stop playing sports.
I wanted you to hit that line.
Yes,
so good. I jumped the gun. My bad.
Yeah, they're real swift up there. Then Javante Hopkins transfers in from Tarleton State. Billy Gillespie's bunch. Could be a good get. Charles Smith. No, not the old New York Knick that wouldn't fucking dunk the ball. Charles Smith transfers in from Old Dominion. Jeff Jones. They keep a good program there. That's probably a good get. CJ Lane comes in from Eastern Illinois. Nick Gazelis from Montana State. It's hard, and they brought in 2 guys from the divider, Cyrus Grisby as well. It's really hard for me to pigeonhole how this team will be because it's a brand new roster. This is like the Arkansas of the SWAC. Everyone's a transfer. I'll say I trust the coaching.
Yeah,
middle of the pack. Give me middle of the pack for Florida A&M. Not as Florida A&M, Prairie View A&M, but not as good as last year. Obviously, what do you make of this team, man?
I think they'll be better than expected. I don't know if I'm ready to list them just middle of the pack. Last year they had the second best defense, so I think you bring in a lot of these guys via the portal. You're able to coach them up on that side of the floor, figure it out offensively. Javante Hopkins was a good shooter last year. CJ Lane was a good shooter last year. Ronald Giles coming in from St. Francis, Brooklyn. They weren't a winning program, but hopefully he's able to step in and just fill in a role as the point guard. But other than him, the rest of this roster didn't play more than 15 minutes a season ago. So
yeah,
I'm a little bit more down on this team than you. I think they're in the middle of the pack. I would probably throw them behind Bethune-Cookman in front of Grambling. Is that how we have it going?
That sounds about accurate. That sounds, them and Grambling, I think, because Grambling could be better than what I think too. But
yeah,
that sounds about accurate. Let's talk about the Jaguars of Southern. Kevin Johnson in his first season in Baton Rouge there, and they lose everybody too. I mean, you want to talk about another team to get a hard read on here is Brian Whitley's gone. Bryson Etienne's gone. PJ Bird gone. Terrell Williams gone. Tyrone Lyons gone. I mean, the top minutes guy that they return is what, Jalen Reynolds or Festus Udamanya. But I mean, you want to talk about a hard team to get a gauge on. They brought in some guys from the portal. Brandon Davis from Texas State, Derek Tizino from Stephen F. Austin with the Lumberjacks. It's a bunch of JUCOs. I'm going to say towards the back.
Yeah.
Of the SWAC.
Unfortunately, it's year one without Sean Woods, who had this program actually competing in the top half of the league every year. But year one of Kevin Johnson, the roster really turns over. I don't know what to expect from this team much at all. I mean, the entire backcourt really didn't play much in the D1 level last season. And Derek Tizino comes in from SFA, who's not a tremendously good offensive program. I think they're going to struggle on that side of the floor specifically. The front court, they bring back some experience, both of them seniors, Fetus Dumanya and Jaron Wilkins. But other than that, I think this team's down in the basement. I think they're better than SAMU, I would say. That's where I'll have them.
The chat was asking if it was that Kevin Johnson. No, not the one who dunked on Hakeem Olajuwon, the former Phoenix Sun, who I think is like the mayor of Sacramento or was. This is Kevin Johnson, who did play professionally for, but not in the NBA, but like he played pro ball in the world. So, and he'd been a Ron Hunter assistant at Tulane. So there is that. Let's talk about the final team of the conference, Texas Southern, who I am always, I know they finished 8th in the SWAC last year, but obviously they did their thing again at the Health and PE arena, and they made the NCAA tournament. This team's always tough, man. And you look at what is here. Returning PJ Henry at the point spot, who's a dog. All right. Getting Mortal back also as a freshman, a guy Flash, man, played about 20 minutes a game, 8 points a game. That's a great freshman year. And then you look at like some of the other guys, Colby Granger, Farouk, the guards on the bench. All right. You add in the transfers they brought in. Jonathan Sisse coming in from IDub, Incarnate Word. Josh Farmer from UTSA. Jamar Young from Memphis. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's Memphis, they're talented. Deion Stroud from EDub, Kenny Hunter from La Tech. I think this is a contender yet again. I won't have them win in the regular season, but you better believe in that SWAC tournament, they're coming again.
They play their best ball late in the season.
Yes, every year for Johnny Jones there. I'll have them finishing 3rd in the SWAC this year. I think they'll be right behind. They'll be right behind Jackson State. I mean, you could build a case that they could win the SWAC. I just feel like
I like Jackson State a little bit more. I'm with you on that one. They bring in, it's an entirely new front court for Texas Southern. So I don't really know what to expect here. PJ Henry though, I mean, he's a stud. Jonathan Cisse, 16.5 points a game a season ago at Incarnate Word. Their backcourt's going to be damn good. They've got 2 seniors back there, both of them. From there, though, I think that's where Jackson State builds an edge across the rest of the conference. I think Texas Southern is competing for a title. I like what they've got here. I love the backcourt. But overall, just preseason rankings-wise, I've got them either 2nd or 3rd.
You ready for this though? They don't win the regular season, but they win the SWAC tournament.
Probably
again.
I trust Johnny Jones more than Mo Williams.
Yeah, again, they win it again, and I'm fast. This conference is a lot better than like 5-6 years ago when I was first started doing this show. You get to some of these teams, but I'm like, man, I'm seriously impressed by the depth of this conference now. There's a couple teams where they're just portaled up, and it's hard to get a gauge on. But there's a lot of teams here that I think it's going to be fun to watch night in, night out. SWAC ball.
We saw last year. They pulled off upsets. I think they pulled off 3. I think they went 3-3 in that SWAC Pac-12 challenge last year. Grambling beat Vanderbilt. I mean,
Wazoo got caught, didn't they? Didn't Wazoo?
They jumped up and did a couple of high majors. I think they got at least 4. So this conference is taking in tremendous steps. They're better than the negative connotation of the league for sure. Everybody just kind of laughs with the SWAC. We made the joke that it's we saved the best for the last, but I think we've previewed a couple of conferences worse than the SWAC this
for sure. And like I noticed the depth, or I'm sorry, the growth from 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I think this conference is much deeper than it was, say, 5-6 years ago, which means they're going to knock off better teams, and they're going to be fun to watch night in, night out when the season tips. So
you see this comment from Avetta here on YouTube.
Well, dude, they like
this. It would have been fun to kind of walk through all the schedules as we were going. I should have thought of that because all these teams start off like crazy road stints.
Warriors
going into the Texas Southern schedule here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 neutral. So those might be an MTE. I don't know. The North Carolina A&T and Howard games are both neutral back-to-back nights. They start off the year at least 8 games away from home.
Oh, dude,
December
some
21st.
of them, yeah. Dude, some of those teams do it for like a month. I forget what team I watched last year.
Last year it was Florida A&M. I texted you and Mac, and I said, "Here's a fun fact: they don't play a home game until like
unfucking believable, unfucking believable." Respect to them.
Until the beginning of the next calendar.
Unbelievable. Texas Southern plays at New Mexico, I believe, opening night. I think right. I think it's opening night or opening week.
Jackson State doesn't play a home game in 2023.
Wait, the whole year?
Till
the conference play, you mean?
Their first home game is January 6th. So Jackson
Mo
State,
Williams loading up.
Yeah, Jackson State at Memphis, at San Diego, at Cal Baptist, at Loyola Marymount. That should be fun. At Tulsa, at Missouri, at Georgetown, at Arkansas State, at Houston, Howard, North Carolina A&T, at Gonzaga, at Northwestern. Then their first home game, January 6th in conference, Alcorn State. Holy shit. That was just the second team that I looked at for schedule-wise this year in the SWAC.
They open up with Memphis,
These are
too.
fun. Oh, my God. Alcorn State doesn't have a home game until January 20th. Oh, this is just fun. I encourage you guys to just look at the schedules in the SWAC. They do it to make money for their school. They go across the entire country. They don't play home games. They'll take the bye games, take in the money for playing some high majors. But holy shit. Just 3 schools. I mean, they don't play home games
unbelievable.
until December.
Unfucking believable, man. But hopefully they get some guys. I love it when they steal one of those bye games. Fuck the other big schools. Let's go. Folks, subscribe to the College Basketball Experience on YouTube, youtube.com/the College Experience. Also, iTunes, Spotify, wherever we're at. When the season tips on September 6th, once again, actually the 5th. So did I say September? I've been talking for a while. November 6th. Is when the first games are played. Starting on November 5th, we'll be here every single night of the season, handicapping every single game, talking about it. Not just handicap. I mean, yes, we love to handicap and gamble because we're part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, but we also love college hoops. We have a deep love for it. So we're excited to break down these matchups, and we look forward to it. So, folks, also give Noah a follow on Twitter at NoahB77_. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. The College Basketball Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Give us a follow. And please, if you can, hop on over to iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. Cannot wait to watch SWAC basketball this year, folks. I encourage you, if you're a fan of hoop, maybe you're just getting into college hoops, all right? Or maybe you've only fucked with the power conferences. I encourage you to go out and check out some of these mid-major conferences like the SWAC. They're fantastic basketball. Fantastic history, fantastic culture. So check it all out, folks.
Jackson State coming near you.
Let's go. Let's go.
Both of them don't play a home game until the calendar flips. They're coming near you. Go see the game.
They are. It's like the circus. It'll be in town at some point. All right. Folks,
Mississippi Valley State the same way. They don't play a home game until January 6th. I just ran through the entire conference.
You got to respect that, man. You got to respect that. Can you imagine being a fucking player or coach that's like,
that's nuts, dude.
I'm just on the road the whole fucking time. Folks, get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store, and come talk college hoops with us in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord there. And we're here. This is the final this is the final conference that we had to do. So
thanks, Hasty. I mean, he was in the chat for at least 27 of them. He goes, preview season was fire, boys. Big shout out to Dundee, Mac, Noah, Nick, Troy, CBB, Nick, GCG, and all the TCE crew.
Let's go. Shout out to the whole chat. They're always the best. Avetta, Ryan, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Until next time, this is the college basketball experience. SWAC style, baby. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
It's got me thinking about the good shit. The minute that I seen your grill again, it made me good trip. Good dog the mind back like dog will wind that. Man, I didn't get mad when you never hit me can back, but the comings on was strong. Now my shit's coming along, you know the song. The truth is I'm pretty much on fire again. It's heating up for real, I'm alive again. And that's the attraction factor. Vancouver, Michigan with my rap disaster. Yeah, you know you want it how you want it. No need to trip cause I got it, doggone it. It's all yours and the extras too. All the super music and the sex for who? Just get it straight cause he caught me in a good mood. Let me demonstrate what this time of year could do. Sing it.